Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland, BROWNS. Let's get to the news. Alright, Browns fans, today we have a story that's caught a lot of attention, not just because of the player involved, but because of what it could mean for the team's future and their quest for another Super Bowl appearance. It's about Shedeur Sanders, the rookie quarterback who's been turning heads during training camp and in preseason, but also, unfortunately, about some off-field issues that could raise eyebrows and even impact his career here in Cleveland. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Oh, come on, it's just a couple of speeding tickets. But in the NFL, especially for a team like the Browns, every detail counts, and the story behind Shedeur Sanders' recent troubles is worth diving into. Let's back up a bit and give you some context. Shedeur Sanders, for those who may not be fully up to date, is the son of legendary NFL and college football coach Deion Sanders. He's a highly talented quarterback, known for his arm strength, football IQ, and leadership qualities. Coming out of college, he was drafted in the 5th round by Cleveland, which in itself was a big statement. The Browns see potential in him, a lot of potential, and he's been competing fiercely in the offseason to secure a spot as the starting quarterback. The team is in a critical phase. They want to see if he can be the guy to lead them back to the playoffs, possibly even a Super Bowl run, after a couple of lean seasons that have seen the Browns fighting to reclaim their status among the league's elite. But as we all know, talent alone isn't enough. Off-field behavior, discipline, and maturity are just as important in the NFL, especially for a young player trying to make a name for himself in a league that's incredibly competitive and unforgiving. That brings us to the story that's been making waves: Shedeur Sanders' recent run-ins with the law, specifically for speeding. And I mean, we're talking about some serious speeding here, Browns fans. On June 5th, just a few weeks ago, Sanders was stopped by the Ohio State Patrol in Brunswick Hills. He was clocked driving at 91 miles per hour in a zone with a posted limit of only 65. That's more than 25 miles per hour over the limit. And if that wasn't enough, just a couple of weeks later, on June 17th, he was stopped again, this time by Strongsville police, for going 101 in a 60 mph zone. That's more than 40 miles per hour over the speed limit. Serious, reckless driving, no doubt. Now, what makes this even more concerning is that Sanders didn't just get a slap on the wrist for the first ticket. No, he failed to appear in court for that initial violation, which means additional fines and potentially more serious consequences. It's clear that he's not learning from these incidents, and that's what has some experts and fans raising red flags. Justice B. Hill from Cleveland. Calm, a well-respected voice in local sports and community issues, even went as far as suggesting that Sanders should lose his driver's license altogether. And honestly, when you think about it, it's not an unreasonable stance. If a young player, especially one in the spotlight like Sanders, keeps speeding at these dangerous levels, it's a risk not only to himself but to everyone around him. Hill's argument is straightforward. If Sanders can afford to pay fines and hire drivers or Uber, why should he continue to have the privilege of driving himself around Cleveland? He's young, rich, and talented, but that doesn't give him a free pass to ignore basic safety rules. And let's be honest, Browns fans, if you're a player on the rise and you're known for your athletic ability, but you show a reckless attitude behind the wheel, it raises questions about your discipline and maturity, qualities that are absolutely essential for a quarterback, especially one trying to lead a team to the promised land. Now, I want you to pause with me for a second here. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Cleveland Browns news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Because, Browns fans, this isn't just about a couple of traffic tickets. This is about the kind of mindset that a young quarterback needs to succeed in the NFL: discipline, responsibility, and the ability to handle pressure both on and off the field. You see, the Browns, like many NFL teams, value character and maturity almost as much as raw talent. They want players who can be leaders, role models, and representatives of the franchise. And right now, Sanders' recent actions are not exactly sending that message. The question on everyone's minds is, will this affect his chances of starting this season? Because, let's face it, Browns fans are eager to see who will be under center when the season kicks off in September. Deshaun Watson, of course, is the established starter, but the team is in a competitive spot, and Shedeur Sanders is in the mix, especially considering his talent and his potential to develop into a franchise quarterback. The coaching staff has been impressed with his arm talent, decision-making in practice, and his leadership qualities. But if these off-field issues continue, it could create a distraction the Browns simply cannot afford. And it's not just about the current season. It's about setting a precedent. If a young quarterback shows a lack of discipline, it can resonate throughout the locker room, affecting team chemistry and overall performance. Browns fans, I know you're passionate and you want a winning team, but you also want players who represent the best of what Cleveland stands for. That means accountability, responsibility, and a certain level of maturity that can't be ignored. Looking at Sanders' career, he has shown flashes of brilliance. His college stats were impressive, throwing for over 600 yards and 40 touchdowns in his last season at Jackson State, and he's known for his accuracy and ability to make plays under pressure. But translating that talent into NFL success requires more than just throwing touchdowns. It's about consistency, leadership, and the mindset to be a professional, both on and off the field. The Browns, under head coach Kevin Stefanski, have been emphasizing discipline and accountability in their culture. They've built a team that values hard work, resilience, and integrity. So how does Sanders fit into that picture? Well, if he can learn from these mistakes, show some growth, and demonstrate that he's serious about his development, he can still have a bright future in Cleveland. But if these reckless behaviors continue, it could be a sign that he's not ready to handle the responsibilities that come with being an NFL quarterback. And let's not forget, Browns fans, that the NFL has a history of players with immense talent who let off-field issues derail their careers. The league is a demanding place, and discipline is often the difference between stardom and a career cut short. So, this story about Sanders is a reminder that talent alone isn't enough. It's how players handle themselves in every aspect of their lives that ultimately defines their careers. Now, shifting gears a bit, let's talk about what this means for the Browns' upcoming season. The team has been making strides in recent years, especially on defense, with players like Myles Garrett leading the charge. Offensively, they've been looking to take the next step, and that's where a talented young quarterback like Sanders could come in and make a difference. But he'll need to show maturity, discipline, and focus. The Browns are counting on him to be a part of their future, but right now, these recent incidents cast some doubt. Still, it's early, and with the right guidance and attitude, Sanders has the potential to turn things around. The Browns, front office, and coaching staff are no strangers to tough decisions. They've shown that they're willing to give players second chances, but only if they prove they're serious about change. And for Sanders, this could be a defining moment. Will he learn from these mistakes and grow into the leader Cleveland needs? Or will these issues become a stain on his career, affecting his ability to compete for the starting job? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain, Browns fans, we're watching closely, and we'll be here to keep you updated every step of the way. As we look ahead to training camp, the competition for the starting quarterback position is going to be fierce. Deshaun Watson is the clear favorite, but Sanders is pushing hard, showing flashes of brilliance in practice. The team believes in his potential, but they also want to see growth beyond just throwing passes and making plays. They want a player who can be a leader, who can handle adversity, and who can serve as a positive role model both on and off the field. And honestly, Browns fans, that's what makes this story so intriguing. It's not just about speed on the highway, it's about the speed of his growth as a person and a player. If Sanders can channel his talents and learn from these mistakes, he could still be a vital part of Cleveland's future. But if not, well, we've seen what can happen when talent isn't matched with maturity. The NFL is a tough league, and the Cleveland Browns are a team that's all about resilience and grit. They want players who embody those qualities, and they're willing to give young guys like Sanders every opportunity to prove themselves. Now, I want to take a moment to emphasize that this isn't the end of the world for Sanders or the Browns. It's a setback, yes, but one that can be corrected. It's a reminder that even the most talented players need to stay grounded and responsible. Browns fans, I know you're passionate, and you want to see your team succeed. You want to see your young quarterback develop into a leader. That's why stories like this resonate, because they remind us all that success isn't just about the plays you make on Sunday, but about the choices you make every day. In the end, we're all rooting for Shedeur Sanders to learn, grow, and become the player Cleveland needs him to be. Whether he's the future of the franchise or just a promising talent who's had a rough start, one thing, for sure, Browns fans, you're in for an exciting ride this season. The competition is heating up, the stakes are high, and every story, every setback, every triumph will shape the team's destiny. So stay tuned, keep supporting your Browns, and remember that every great team faces challenges. It's how they overcome them that makes all the difference. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this situation? Do you think Sanders' recent speeding incidents will affect his prospects for the upcoming season? Are you confident that he can turn things around and prove he's the quarterback of the future? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Cleveland Browns. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news. We're in this together, Browns family, and every story, every update, every game is a chapter in our journey to greatness. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Browns.